Hey, greetings everybody, and welcome back to Low Def Media. Tonight, got a podcast for you. I'm going to videotape it so I can put it out on the YouTube channel. So depending on how you like to, view, listen to your content, consume, I guess is a good word, consume your content. If you like to watch videos, I'll have that for you. And if you like to listen to a podcast on the way to work, well, I'll have that for you too. All right, so hey, what are we going to do tonight? This is kind of an impromptu podcast because I just had some ideas. I don't even know if idea is the right thing. Just thoughts, things that I have been, they've just kind of been piling up. And so I've got a few of them. I jotted them down today and I said, you know what? I'm going to have some time tonight. I need to get these recorded and put out there and see if these are things that other people, my listening and viewing audience, see if these are things that you maybe experience yourself, or maybe you can commiserate. You let me know. I'm not going to get too far into it, but it is Georgia and it is allergy season. So for whatever reason, nose is running tonight. So please excuse the sniffing and the occasional nose wipe. But hey, that's just life. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to edit it out. That's just the way life is. All right, so what do we got for you tonight? The first, well, let me start with this. If you are a new content creator, if you are just starting a podcast, or if you are just starting creating videos for YouTube, I got to tell you, I can't say that I'm an expert. I have been doing this a while, but it is always a challenge when you don't have a dedicated studio where you can leave your equipment up all the time and just press a button and you're good to go. I've seen creators who have that luxury. I don't. And so every time I have to set everything back up because this is where I work. And so I have to go from work mode to creator mode. So I have to hook everything back up and then dial it back in. And I know I'm probably creating frustration for myself by trying to use this webcam, but why I like the webcam is for this reason. And so if you're new, this is why I do what I do. I can record this video straight into my video editor. I record the audio straight in. Now I can separate it and then save just the audio for my podcasts, but I can make sure that everything's synced up in one easy step right there in the editor, okay? I can see it real time, so I've got a monitor, so to speak. It's right there, so I can tell that I'm in frame and everything's working. So that's good. The bad thing is that it's hard to get this webcam, which is only 1080p. I mean, it's not the greatest camera, small sensor. And I think the small sensor is what really hurts me. That really limits what I can do because even though the smallest amount of light creates a lot of reflection. And so it took me about 45 minutes to get all this stuff dialed in, and that was just frustrating. I'm looking for my dog. My dog always likes to interrupt while we're on the podcast. All right, so I've got my Blue Yeti microphone. I've got this SUI RUI 1080p webcam. Box light, I've got a ring light, and I've got my video editor. So that's what we are using this evening. Again, so if you are new to this, one, don't get frustrated because it does take time to get everything dialed in. And look, this isn't the greatest image ever created, but it's good enough for YouTube, and I don't want to, belittle that or anything, but it's 1080p and it's perfectly usable for YouTube. And what I don't want to do is record on another camera, have to take that and download it into the editor and then start working with that and have to sync audio and all that stuff. That I don't have time for that tonight. So this is what we're working with, and that took about almost 5 minutes to go through that. So if you're a new creator, content creator, use what you got, hang in there, don't get frustrated, and you'll get there. All right, so what's the first topic? Let's get into that. That's why you're here. The first topic, I like to go out. There's a couple trails here close to my house. And one of the trails actually leads to, and I use this term very loosely, mountain. Where I live is the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. And so this is more like an exaggerated hill, but they call it Pine Mountain. And so there's a trail, it's about a mile long, that goes from the parking lot up to the summit, and you get a nice overlook of the town. There's a lake, and so it's nice. And so I'll go up there on occasion. I'll take the steeper route up, and then I'll take the not as steep, the what is it called? I don't know what it's late. It's nighttime. I worked all day, so the vocabulary is not so great. But the less steep route, I'll take that back, but I'll run down. Okay, so hiking, running, I'll take a camera with me, and so I try to get a lot of different things in all at once. Well, this past time I went, and there two things happened that I think are noteworthy that I should bring up, that we should discuss. First, as I was going down, and I ran this loop twice, okay? So I went down the first time and passed a couple coming up. Now this couple, you could tell they're not outdoorsy, because the way they were dressed, especially the male part of the couple, nice shirt, nice shorts, nice sneakers. It looked more like a show than anything else. The female was wearing, athletic top and I think they're not stretch pants, but leggings with nice sneakers. And so not what you normally see when you go hiking, right? So they're coming up. I see them coming down. Hey, how you doing? Great. All right, have a great day. So then I get down to the bottom and I start taking the trail back up. I get to where it splits, and I start taking the less steep trail back down, and I run into them going back down. So as I was climbing up, they had already come around, gone to the summit, taken their pictures, and were coming back down. So now I'm coming down, but I'm running. I come up behind them, and they're walking. Okay, so I have to walk behind them. Now I say, I thought for sure they heard me, but they didn't. So I very nicely, excuse me, can I scooch by? And the guy, without even looking up, says, sure, but doesn't move. Still walks dead center of the trail. So I have to try and maneuver around him while staying on the trail. And it just came off to me as rude. It's not the proper trail etiquette. So if someone is, climbing, like if you're going up and someone is going up faster than you are, you move to the side, you let them go. I can't tell you how many people saw me going up, running down, whichever. If I was running down and they were walking up, they moved to the side. They gave me the room I needed because I'm going to be gone in a second. So they moved to the side. I went by. Everything's great. This one couple obviously don't spend a lot of time on a trail. Decided, nope, they weren't going to do that. Oh yeah, go ahead and pass me, but I'm not going to move. That's not proper trail etiquette. So if you enjoy the trails, hey, look out for other people who may be moving at a quicker pace than you, just like you do on the interstate. Somebody's coming up faster, you move out of their way, they pass, you go back in your lane. Easy peasy. Now the second thing, and this isn't anything to do with me necessarily, like it wasn't someone being rude, it's just what I observed. So here's the thing. I saw a single female walking up the trail, coming up the mountain. And again, I'm coming down, and as I see her come up, she doesn't lift her face. She looks down the entire time. So at no point did she ever make eye contact or even look at me from the time I initially saw her to the time I passed. Now, some people might say, there's nothing wrong with that. And on the surface, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But here's my observation. It's as if she was thinking, if I don't look, there's no danger. And if there's no danger, nothing will happen to me. And so I'm just not going to make any eye contact, and I'm just going to walk, and everyone will leave me alone. Now that sounds good in theory, but that's not how the world works. We all know this. Just because it's like a baby. They cover their eyes. They can't see anybody. Oh, they're all gone. Peekaboo. And all of a sudden they're there. Oh, you reappeared. So when you're on a trail and you're by yourself, and this is true for a lot of different situations, but if you're on a trail by yourself and you're looking down, and let's say that person is someone who's going to try and harm you, okay, a predator. Well, don't you think it makes sense to make sure your eyes are up and you're looking around and you're scanning your environment, so that if that guy comes up and he is a predator and he is looking to do harm to someone, you can look up and say, oh, okay, now I know what you look like. I know what you're wearing. I know if you have something in your hand. So if something happens, I at least have a description. That's my dog. See, always, every time. During my podcast, dog has to do something. She's an attention monger. So I thought it was interesting, but it also caused concern, because I tell my girls, I have 2 daughters, I tell them, always head up, always look what's around you, because you never know what's going to happen, when it could happen, and you always want to know who's around you and what's going on. And so this is advice that I would give to my children, to my wife, and so I pass it along to you. If you are a single female and you like to go out and either run or hike or do anything, really shop, go to restaurants, keep your head up, look around, make sure you scan your environment and you know what's going on around you, because how horrible would it be if something did happen to you and the only thing you could tell someone is, I don't know. I don't know what he looked like or what they looked like or what happened. You had no idea because you didn't take the time to look. So that's enough of that. So what's the next topic? And again, I wrote this down today at work. Public appearance. Okay, this was an interesting one. When I'm at work, I like to, and this is one of the things that I've got listed, and so this is a good segue. How many people have an Apple Watch? Okay, show of hands. I have an Apple Watch. Some people have a Garmin. Some people have a Whoop strap. There are all kinds of different wearables now that you can put on that will give you fitness data or activity data, right? So there was a survey that I saw on YouTube, or it may have been Instagram. I think it was YouTube though, where it asked, do you have a wearable? And it gave you a list of different things. Yes, I've got an Apple Watch. And it said, and the next slide was, does it change your behavior? Do you do things because the watch tells you to? I said, yes. There are so many times where I look at this watch, I say, oh, I've got to close my rings. I need to do more activity. I need to stand more. I need to exercise today so I can close that ring. So there are a lot of things that this watch tells me, and it causes me to change my behavior. Now, I look at that as a good thing. All right. So what does that have to do with my next topic? Well, so you're wearing an Apple Watch. Okay. You've got an iPhone or a smartphone. You're at work, so you want to dress nice. Maybe you have, I don't know, a nice pair of shoes. You're wearing slacks. And so I'm on this walk. I'm at work because my watch tells me I've got to get up. I got to work out. And, you're at work for 8-9 hours a day. And so I take a walk outside the office. And this was about 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's not too hot yet. It's sunny. I'm out walking. I see somebody come up, and I get this, sometimes your spidey sense goes off and you're like, I don't know about this guy, kind of sketchy, right? So it got me thinking. During the day, when I'm at work, for most people, your human instinct, your standard behavior is to, I want to look good. I want to impress. To whatever degree you may or may not do that, your clothes match, you wear a belt, you have socks, shoes. To whatever extent you do that, you want to set a certain tone and image at work, right? Well, I see this person walk by me, and now all of a sudden I'm thinking, Okay, I got my watch, I got my phone, I've got a collared shirt, I've got, name brand shoes. I am now looking like a target. And so in that moment, it made me think just how quickly that can change. You go from, I want to set this image at work to, oh no, that image is now making me a target. And my wife is at a concert tonight, and the same thing. We talked about it with her friends that she's going with, that a lot of people, all these women have gone to concerts in the past, and they say, you know what, there's always a few women that you see there that are always dressed up. They're in the skirts, they're in a nice top, they have high heels. And I'm thinking where the concert is downtown. And you have to walk from that venue to the parking lot. And in that distance, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to look like a target. And you want to be able to react should anything go sideways. Running in heels, never done it, but I can only imagine it's hard. And so I would want a different type of shoe on as I'm leaving this arena going to my car so that I can be at least mobile in case something should happen. And look, you watch the news, things can happen in an instant. And so they actually had this discussion before they left. What are you wearing? And they all agreed, we're going to wear sneakers because you just don't know. They would rather sacrifice looking cute for being functional. And so again, that kind of plays into what I was talking about where, your appearance, you want one thing, but then again, you want something else. And sometimes they're, juxtaposed to each other. And so I found that interesting. So, if that's something that you've ever thought about, let me know. Hit me up in the comments below. All right. So next topic, I've got to try and read this. I think this is a good one. Male. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. So I put on here male stigma because again, on my walk today at work, and this is why all these ideas, thoughts, are on paper, because when I go out and walk, I don't know about you, but when I go out and walk, that's where I get a lot of my ideas. That's where I do a lot of thinking. And so today I actually took that step of coming back and writing it all down. And that has led to this. And so I encourage you, if you have these, ideas during the day, carry a notepad, use your phone, and try to capture these ideas or these thoughts. Cause podcasts, videos, books. I mean, there's all these different outlets, and you never know. It could be the one thing that, you're really good at and you really enjoy. So just word of advice. All right. So male stigma. So again, I'm on this walk and excuse me. So I'm on this walk. I come back to the building where I work, and I see a female walking from the parking garage to the front door. Well, I have to follow her to the building because I'm coming from one direction. She's coming this way. And so now I have to follow her to the door. And immediately, and I wasn't even all that close, but this feeling intensified the closer I got. So I'm following her, and my computer, oh man. That's the one thing I really don't like about this microphone, is that when the computer times out, so does the microphone. And so if I don't pay attention, and I was thinking that because I'm recording, it's working and it's not going to cut off, but it timed out. So hopefully you didn't miss a whole lot there. So anyway, so as she's walking to the building, I'm behind her, and the closer I get, the more intense this feeling is, because as soon as I come up behind her, I instantly feel like I'm the bad guy. Okay, like not that I am the bad guy or that I am a stalker, that anything like that, but I instantly felt that way because that's usually what happens. When women are attacked, there's someone behind them that comes up. Now, great, we're at work. This is broad daylight. We're in front of the building. But it's how I felt, and I'm sure I could tell her body language. She was thinking the same thing, even though she's in one of the safer environments she could be in. Just being a single female walking into a building, no one visibly around, someone else behind her she doesn't know. And I could see her body language change a little. But I also felt, I don't want to say off. I felt off because it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, I don't want to be that guy, but I got to get to work. All right. So it's almost like, I could go a different way and not be behind her, but then that would look very, that would obvious, but it would look awkward, like weird. Why is this person going all the way around there? And so it's just one of those things that popped in my head. And it's not just at work, but when you're at the mall and you're shopping and there's just a single person and you're behind them or in an elevator or anything like that, it's like you're automatically, looked at like, oh, is this person going to do something? It doesn't matter it doesn't matter old, young, white, black, doesn't matter, because anybody can be an assailant. Anybody can, commit a crime. And so people just get very on edge when they're by themselves and then they're confronted with someone else. I do the same thing. If I'm out walking and I see a single, usually male, if I see a single male walk up and they have a certain look about them, you feel very uncomfortable. Like, am I going to be robbed? Now, I've never been robbed, but that's the thought that goes through your mind, and your body language, indicates that, and it's obvious, it's overt. And so I don't have a solution for it. That's not the purpose of my podcast, but it's just to bring up topics that maybe you have experienced as well. And so maybe we can all, kind of collaborate together and commiserate. So if that's something you've dealt with or that you would like to add on to, hey, let me know. Let's see what else I got here. What else is on the list? Male Stigma, Public Appearance, and Trail Etiquette. That was it. That's what I got. I think, the only other thing is the audio quality. Now I'm using this Blue Yeti. And this Blue Yeti has been around for years. It's a cardioid microphone. I'm using it as a USB. It does not have an XLR input, so it's only USB. It's a very good microphone. It's very dependable. However, I don't think it sounds nearly as good as a dedicated podcast microphone does. I've heard them. There's a Shure microphone that's similar to this one, but it's got more of a square tip on it. And then there's another one that I don't know the name of it right now, but all the really big shows use them. And there's a reason why, because they're dynamic microphones and they cut out all the noise from around you and they focus right here on your voice. Okay, so if you move to the side, all of a sudden you can't hear it. It's wonderful. And I've been toying about going in that direction. So let me know if this audio is good enough, because you're obviously someone who listens to podcasts. You probably have listened to more than just this one. And so is this good audio? Is it bad audio? Do I need to improve my audio? Please let me know in the comments below. If you have any feedback on today's show, today's episode, let me know. If you want to weigh in, I'll be glad to, highlight your email or your point on the show, discuss it, talk about it. But with that, this has been Mr. Opinion Head here on the Low Def Media Podcast channel. Thanking you for taking the time to share this 24 minutes with me. And hope you have a great weekend and look forward to seeing you in the next one.